This is my Compucorp 326 Scientist, and I've taken it apart. I'll take the front panel off there, the top cover, and inside it's very modular. The keyboard actually comes straight off, and you've got some PCBs on a sort of backplane arrangement. It's actually not a backplane. You have to undo some bolts to loosen up the clamps. It's a sort of clamped edge connector arrangement. Ordinarily there's a flex circuit which goes from the top PCB here up round the keyboard and then clamps onto, I think I've got that the wrong way around, so it actually goes up round the keyboard here and then is clamped onto this PCB here, and that's done using some sort of fingers, a strip of fingers to hold each connector in place on the edge connector. As you can see, this connector has had some quite strange battery damage of some kind. The strange thing about it is the connector is actually quite bad, but the PCBs are fine, so I don't really know how that happened. So I don't really want to put that back in the machine in case that corrosion sort of wanders up and onto the PCBs. So what I've done is I've had one of these made, which is a replacement flex circuit, and the idea is that I'm going to attempt to replace this with this. Now, it's come back recently and I've found that I've actually managed to get the pitch out by about about half an edge connector finger, so that's not good. Also, I did it fairly quickly. It's a 2-layer flex circuit. Really, it'd be better having a 1-layer with alternate connections on either end, I think, rather than having vias, because you need the connectors on that side at this end and the other side at that end, so it's a little bit harder as a single-sided flex circuit. But I'm going to have to make another load up, I think, well, to get the pitch right. I think I can just about get away with it if I'm very careful aligning the connector to the fingers on the PCB. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to sort of fold it over, put the fingers on, and see whether I can get the thing powered up and working with this flex. If I can, I think what I'm going to do is revisit the design. Definitely spread the pitch out, because that's not good. So I've got the Flexi in there, and if I turn it on, you can see that it's functioning. The only problem is the 1 key doesn't work, 0 key doesn't work, 2 doesn't work, 3 does, 4 does, 5 doesn't, 6 doesn't, and some of the other keys work. So you can sort of operate it in a way. So yeah, about half the keyboard's working, which is sort of what I'd expect with the pitch being wrong. So I'm going to have to make another Flexi with the correct pitch this time, and I think that the fundamental idea works. It's not too difficult to get it attached either. The thickness of the Flexi seems about right, so I think that's what I'm going to have to do, because it's probably going to work once I get the rest of the... oh, that one works. Once I get the rest of the buttons working. So if I put 34, we're in degrees hopefully, take the sine of it, and then the inverse sine, and we're back to 34. So it is working, but yeah, a little bit of work needed. Version 2 of the Flexi has arrived, and I've mounted it, let's get the top off, I've mounted it in the 326. There we go. So if I put that over there, so you can see that it's actually well, that's screwed in there. Let's take that off. I've put nuts on here because there were spring clips, circlips on the plastic, and I wanted something a little bit more easily removable. It's not ideal. If they fall off, they're going to wander around inside the machine, which isn't going to be very good. So you can see there's the new Flexi which I've clipped in, and the pitch is correct on this one. And so if I put some nuts back on there, the Flexi's a little bit long. I made it the same size as the original. It's a little bit long, which means it tends to push the keyboard up a bit if you don't hold it down with these. I might get some spring clips for that, but these seem okay for now. Or maybe some nylon nuts would be better. Then if they do fall off, they aren't going to do any damage. Let's try and get that on there. Come on. No. Just need to start it off, that'll be fine then. Right. There we go. So if I get power supply, and plug that in, let's give it a go. So there we go, display's come up. That's always a good start. And the one key works: 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And as far as I can tell, every key so far, every key so far has actually responded. So yeah, not a lot going to happen with programs with no program in there. So as far as I can tell, that's now working. So I've got a replacement Flexi for the keyboard, and it's back and working. Mind you, it sort of worked with the old Flexi, but I just didn't like putting that back in with the corrosion on there. So we should be able to. Case isn't there. It's a bit finicky getting the case on. Clear that to. There you go. So we can do that to more decimal places. Yeah, so working again without the old Flexi. I've just taken apart the Compucorp 322 Scientist as opposed to the 326, which I've just put a new Flexi, keyboard Flexi in. And the keyboard's very similar, but the way that the Flexi mounts onto the keyboard and the PCB that it attaches to is completely different. What you've got is a Flexi circuit with some contacts here, sort of quite a distance up from the edge of the Flexi. That then wraps around a few times around a piece of plastic with some rubber on it. It's not a zebra. And that sort of goes there, and the same thing happens down here on this PCB here, and that's screwed onto the PCB. So that is a totally different way of fixing it, and it's a totally different Flexi. You can see that it's quite a bit longer in order to wrap around the around this plastic former. And that has here, I don't think there's zebra strips because there's no reason for them to do any sort of electrical contact work. That's here, which is on the other side of the rubber. So I think it's just a flexible bit of material that pushes the Flexi circuit against the contacts on the edge of the PCB. Now this 322 is working, so I don't need a Flexi circuit, but if I did, I'm going to have to take all of that apart and measure the Flexi, sort out all the distances of the contacts from the end of the end of the Flexi circuit and so on, and it is the same pitch, so at least I could start with that. I think something, well, I think maybe these contacts are actually in the same position. No, I don't think they are they? No, they're not. They're much further apart. So it's quite a bit longer, that Flexi. So if I did have a problem with one of these, I'd have to do that and make a new Flexi. You can't use the same Flexi from the 326.